over 2013, we've seen the rise of the Uranus-Pluto square to exactness. And we've seen complementary, additional extras going into it with things like Jupiter opposite Pluto square Uranus, and now the onset of a 6-month opposition to Uranus from Mars and a square from Mars to both Pluto and Jupiter, creating 3 or 4 grand cross patterns, of which 2 are actually pretty damn extreme. One being the middle 10 days of April, and the second, the most important one, being the first few days of January, and the Capricorn new moon exactly conjunct Pluto. Pluto goes to the bottom of things. It's strong in the chart of minors. It brings the darkness up into the light. And with the new moon, the sun and the moon being on top of Pluto, it's going to take the light down into the dark, and it's a blend of the light and the dark. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming up from the underworld, and a lot of heat and light going into the depths around the start of the new year. But this is happening in Capricorn. And I could talk about the square to Uranus and the square to Mars as being warlike and explosive. Yeah, I could. I could talk about the opposition to Jupiter as being over the top and larger than life. I probably will in a minute. But it's in Capricorn. Capricorn deals with structure and order, and it's a sign of government. Pluto regenerates and transforms once it's finished destroying. It rebirths. It pares things down to absolute bare bones, but then it rebuilds and restructures and rebuilds in a much more pure, streamlined, effective, and so synthesized way that it becomes like the phoenix rising, the caterpillar into the butterfly. And that's on the agenda for us all as a species within the very few next few years. But this new moon, it's the start of the breakdown of the end. This is the end now. We're at the end of the beginning of the process of the old destructuring of systems. Historians in 200 years' time will look back to the late 1980s through to the late 2010s and say that that 30-year period brought about the restructuring of the whole world order. And in the past, I suggest, there's always been, in the lack of communication systems and the lack of global interaction, there's always been the need for us to trust our leaders and believe what we're told and vote and things like this. But now we have artificial intelligence. You can't turn the internet off. It's a force of its own. We have servers in space on submarines. You just can't turn it off. You just can't. So we have permanent artificial intelligence now, and that is a breeding ground for networking, social communication, intelligence forming and gathering, and education, as well as all the negative side of it as well, I suppose, yes. But as a direct result of the internet and the social media revolution of the last 5 to 10 years, the levels of education and knowledge worldwide are escalating fantastically, creating a demand for more proper governance than has ever been the case before. And the old days of vote for me and we'll do it this way, and vote for me, we'll do it that way. No, don't vote for them, vote for us. Why have we got to choose one or two ways? The old values of left versus right, rich versus poor, black versus white. Why is the competitive urge still so dominant in humanity? Why do we fight each other instead of uniting and putting that combined desire for growth and expansion out into the cosmos? Think of what we could really do. Within 30 years, we could have permanent space cities. Within 2 generations, we can have permanent residence on the moon and Mars. You know, we've got such potential. But it does seem that the human condition is given to infighting. And it does look like it's going to take a lot more generations to really get this one done. But on the other hand, compared to where we were just 50 years ago, in terms of social blending, it's unthinkable how far we've come in such a short space of time. And now we're at the crunch point. So let me lighten the thing up a little bit, I think. Let's have a little bit of fun here. On the one hand, we've got Uranus in Aries going, hey man, I can do anything I want, I'm independent, I'm free, and I want to go walkabout. But then on the other hand, you've got Mars going, I'm in Libra, I'm not having anything to do with this nonsense around sharing. I'm going to take action. I'm the king. I'm the boss. Meantime, down in Cancer, you've got Jupiter, who's going, look, grow up, get bigger, wise up, be educated. But then opposite them all, and especially at the trigger, you've got the Sun and the Moon and Pluto in authoritarian Capricorn going, no, you will live within your own boundaries. You will do what you're told, but if you're sensible, you're the one giving the orders. Seriously. It's going to be far easier to live within your own boundaries rather than those pushed on you by others. And rather than dwell on the negative immediate effects of this new moon, I'd much rather dwell on the potential positive big time effects for the future. What if instead of voting for this party or that party or that party, for the Greens or for the anti-immigration or for the Conservative or the Socialist or the Democrat or whatever, what if we just voted for individuals who stood up and said, look, I'm a good guy. You know me. I'm from a local area. You all know me. This is what I stand for. I will go to government. I will go to Parliament on your behalf. And I will speak for your voices. I will speak for you. You tell me what you think I should do. I will hold referenda amongst my community, amongst my database, every week if necessary. You tell me what I should vote. That way, far more democratic system, far more localised, giving power back to the individual instead of to the state. Of course, it can never happen, not while the establishment continues to milk the profits of hundreds of years of the old order. But I'm telling you, folks, that's coming to an end. And in some shape or form, the new moon on January the 1st is going to be hugely symbolic with regard to this.